My dude, why are you so against this? You said you don't even believe in it. Well, I replied. My cousin was sprawled out on my bed like he owned the place, no thanks or anything. Every summer, same routine, except this time felt different. Come on, what's the worst that could happen? If you actually believe this crazy story, it could be dangerous, I warned. Magic always demands a price, if it even exists. But you don't believe, so why not give it a shot, he pushed. All right, I said. How does it work? His face lit up. He pulled out the thing he'd been hyping, a small, smooth stone. Light turquoise with white veins, it seemed to glow, though maybe it was just the weird lighting. You grab the stone, and I'll grab the other side. Okay, I said, puzzled. I took hold of the stone as he closed his eyes. Now, he whispered, say your name. Tyler. Full name. Tyler Rule Isaac Smith. Good, he smiled. I'm Nathan Ray Chase, master of this stone. The glow brightened. So what does that make me? The guy I got this from said its power is only for transformation. I'm the master, so you're the transformee. So I just gave you the power to change me into what? Anything, he grinned. What? I stood up, alarmed, but he just laughed. Relax, I'm not turning you into anything horrible. Just a bit of fun. Right, I muttered, uneasy. Part of me worried what he'd do with that power, but mostly I just wanted to get through summer without more nonsense. Okay, let's test it, he said, eyes closed. The air turned cold for a moment. Then I felt a shift. Looking down, nothing seemed off until I stood. I'd grown 4 or 5 inches taller, with longer legs and arms. I was easily 6'3" or 6'4". It worked! Nathan cheered, bouncing around. Yeah, it worked, I sighed. Imagine the possibilities. He gave me a mischievous look. Oh no, I warned. Whatever you're thinking can't be good. Just for a day, he pleaded. You haven't even said what. You could be a girl, he blurted. I stepped back. It can do that? I asked, more curious than I wanted to admit. Sure, he smirked. What would I even do? Ever wondered what it's like on the other side? Just one day. No one's done this before, you have the chance. I'd jump at it. You scare me, I said firmly. No way I'm changing into a girl. Come on, please? How would we explain this to anyone? I'm not going to spend the day playing with myself. Of course not, he said. But, well, my sister is going to a movie with her friends. You could go with them. So she'd be in on it? Yeah, he nodded. And your girlfriend's coming too. Kylie? Yeah, she mentioned a girls' night this weekend. Haven't you ever wondered what they talk about behind your back? Fine. If you're sure you can arrange it. Thanks. You're going to love it, I promise. It took way more convincing to get his sister Rachel to believe the stone's power. My new height wasn't enough proof. She called it sick and perverted, but after I explained it was just to keep Nathan happy, she sighed and agreed. I'll let you have your fun, she said. I think this is creepy, maybe even some kind of dark magic, but if it keeps you quiet, fine. Thanks, Rachel, Nathan said. Now, the ceremony. Ceremony? She asked. Just hurry up, I said, already dreading a day trapped with a chick flick and a bunch of girls. We're shopping first, Rachel said, and probably ice cream after. Great, I muttered, eyes shutting tight as Nathan lifted the glowing stone again. The cold air hit me, and I tensed. My hair instantly grew past my shoulders, blonde, I guessed, though I kept my eyes closed. My body shifted and shrank a few inches. My face changed shape. My hands and feet got smaller, everything adjusted to fit a new frame. Then, something definitely shrinking that I wasn't thrilled about. An emptiness in my inner thighs made cold air rush through my loose jeans, sending a shiver up my spine. Then my chest started itching, swelling oddly. Leaning forward, I felt the unexpected weight growing there. "Stop, for heaven's sake," Rachel groaned. "Those are way too big." But... "No," she snapped firmly. "I'm not taking someone like that to the movies." "Fine," he shrugged. I felt the pressure on my chest ease to a less overwhelming size, still strange, but manageable. A few other subtle shifts followed. After a moment, I finally opened my eyes. My cousin stared, Nathan with amazement, Rachel with an approving smile, as if I were a finished masterpiece. "Not bad," Rachel said. "Not too flashy, not too plain. Honestly, she's pretty cute. I bet plenty of guys would agree." "Hey!" I protested, but my hand instinctively went to my throat. My voice was now a high soprano, an octave above before, but not ridiculously so. "You're perfect." Nathan beamed. "Go enjoy yourself. Tomorrow morning, it's all back to normal. I promise, no more time in that body unless you want it." "No thanks, Nathan." "One day's plenty," I said, still adjusting to this unfamiliar voice. "Let's get you ready," Rachel said, suppressing a laugh. "Follow my lead, and everything will be fine." Only later did I realize how wrong that was. It took me several minutes to tear my eyes away from the mirror. I was still in my old clothes, stretched tight from when I was 6'5", now barely hanging on my smaller frame. My hair was blonde, just as I guessed. My features were delicate and petite, skin soft and mostly hairless. I stood about 5'3" or 5'4", not short, but far below my usual height. And then there were the chests. Yes, they were there, about a B or C cup, I'd guess. Not spectacular, but definitely adding to my appearance. "Stop staring and get dressed," Rachel called from the bedroom. I stepped out to find a set of clothes laid out on the guest bed, pink underwear and a few outfit choices. "Take off those clothes," she laughed. I shyly slipped out of my old ones, revealing my new body. "Could you not watch?" I asked. "Well, you'll need help with those," she said, nodding toward the bed. "Especially the bra." "Yeah, probably," I admitted. She handed me the underwear, which I pulled on, then passed me the bra. I struggled to fit my new chest into the strange cups. "Let me help," she said, fastening the bra behind me. The fit was snug but comfortable. I adjusted the straps and scratched an itch. Then I eyed the outfits she'd prepared. "I've got one with a skirt if you're feeling girly, but most are just shirt and jeans, something casual for tonight." "That sounds good," I said. "Please, no skirts." "Don't worry," she chuckled. "The more I see you like this, the more I think you were the victim." "What was I supposed to do?" I asked. He could have changed me into something worse. I was terrified. "He wouldn't do that," she assured. "Nathan's annoying, but not cruel." Still, it felt like a disaster waiting to happen. One mistake and I'd be stuck like this. "It's not so bad," she said. "I've lived this way for nearly 18 years. "And I haven't," I replied. "Nor do I want to start." "Okay," she said. "Now, we need a name." I had squeezed into the tight jeans and pulled on the shirt with a modest neckline. It felt odd to feel the breeze from the ceiling fan against my chest, sensitive but not overly so. Not like the stories you hear. Well, other stories. "How about Tyler?" I suggested. "It still works." "No, too simple," she said. "Besides, Tillarantha's coming tonight. We don't want confusion." "Fine." "Joe?" "Stop picking the most tomboyish names," she said. "This is your one chance to be female, might as well pick something more feminine." "Then what?" Well, she said, do you remember what you would have been named if you were a girl? I don't, wait, yes, Emma Elizabeth, I said. Like the girl on that kids show? She smirked. Clifford the Big Red Dog? That show wasn't out yet. Give me a break, I said. But yeah, kids would never let me live that down. Is Emma okay? Of course, she said. Emmy for short? No, Emma's fine. Then let's go. Shopping was unbearably dull. Most of the time, I stared at my phone, nodding absent-mindedly when Rachel showed me dresses or purses. She treated me like any other girl. At times, I think she forgot I'd been a boy just an hour ago, especially when she asked my opinion on bras and panties. Or maybe she knew who I was. Either way, I was stuck in an awkward spot. Just before one of her friends arrived, Rachel gave me a sharp warning. No one but her was allowed to know what had happened. She made sure I understood how to behave, at least enough to pass as a girl for the rest of the night. Rachel, I honestly don't know how to talk like a girl, I confessed. Then maybe it's better if you don't, she replied. Talk like a girl? Talk at all, she said seriously, then turned as her friend found us in the swimsuit section. They exchanged smiles, greetings, and a quick hug. I stood awkwardly to the side. And who's this? Her friend asked. Emma, I said with a smile, offering my hand. She took it politely. I'm Tyler, she said. The handshake was tentative and weaker than I was used to, but then again, we were both much less sturdy than the men I usually met. Even a simple handshake felt different between the genders. Over the next hour, the rest of the group arrived, but when Kylie, my girlfriend, showed up, my heart skipped. I was terrified she'd see through this magical disguise. I'm Emma, I repeated for what felt like the 100th time, meeting her gaze, the same eyes that had captivated me so many times. She smiled but gave me a curious look. Have we met? She asked. I don't think so, I said nervously, hoping I sounded shy enough. She said, I guess you just have one of those faces. She shrugged and joined the other girls. And wow, did they talk. Nails, clothes, school, boys, there wasn't a topic they skipped. I mostly followed quietly. They didn't seem to notice or mind my silence. I tried to listen, but most of it was dull, and my heart pounded so loud I could barely focus on anything but hiding. So, where do you go to school? Abby asked. I flinched. Canyon, I answered truthfully. Abby said. Never seen you around. What I meant was, I stammered, I'm going to Canyon. I just moved here over the summer. Oh, cool, she said, satisfied. I exhaled as she turned back to the others. We walked to the movie theater, and I breathed easier in the darkened room. Many of the girls kept chatting, but it was easy to blend into the shadows. I sat quietly through the romantic movie. It was boring, but I rubbed my eyes a lot to appear teary when it ended. Someone suggested ice cream afterward, and everyone but one girl enthusiastically agreed. So, how's Tyler? I heard my name and flinched. I caught Rachel's reassuring glance before she laughed with the others. He's fine, Kylie said. From the looks of it, I'd say he's more than fine, Abby teased. Oh, shut up, Kylie shot back. He's one of the sweetest guys I know, and such a gentleman. I'm lucky. I smiled, surprised she thought so highly of me. Don't put this night on a pedestal, Rachel warned. He may be sweet, but my cousin can be a jerk sometimes. Thanks a lot, I said aloud. The laughter stopped, and all eyes turned to me. What do you mean? Abby asked. I just mean, I stammered. Anyway, that's enough, Rachel interrupted. No, let her speak, Kylie said firmly. Fear gripped me like never before. What could I say? I tried to think like a girl, but no one had ever faced this situation. Suddenly, I did what I thought any girl would do. I bolted from the table, crying hysterically, and ran to the bathroom. Pressing my back against the wall, I tried to summon more tears, and oddly, they came easily. It felt like the only logical response after so much stress. "Emma, open up," Rachel called softly. I unlocked the door, and she stepped inside. "Is this real or fake?" she asked, eyes full of both comfort and confusion. I almost said fake, but didn't. Emotions swelled as she looked at me. I started. "I don't know." She hugged me tightly, and I returned the embrace. I don't know how to be a girl, and now I'm stuck with half a dozen girls all talking about me, and I trailed off. "Shoo, it's okay," she whispered. "I'm not sure how much that stone affects you, but for a lot of girls, this is just normal." "It is?" I asked. "Yes," she said softly. "Some girls are tough, but many of us break when we don't know what to do. Guys break too, just not always with tears." "Though some do," I chuckled, wiping a tear away. "Yeah," she smiled. "Some sensitive boys, I guess. Now, let's get you home and back to normal." "Sound good?" "That sounds perfect," I replied. She wiped my eyes, and we stepped outside. To my surprise, all the girls rushed over, hugging me warmly. I accepted their comfort, feeling more cared for by these strangers than by most of my own friends or family. After we said our goodbyes, a wave of sadness washed over me as my cousin drove us home. Not because I wanted to stay a girl, but there was something those girls had, something my friends lacked, and I envied it. "Don't look so down," Rachel said. "You'll see them again, I'm sure." "Yeah," I said quietly, "but they won't see me again." We arrived home just before midnight. The house was quiet, no one saw my cousin bring a strange girl inside. We said our goodnights, and I locked myself in my room. Earlier, I might have eagerly explored this new body, but now I felt too sad, not even a hint of desire. I slipped out of my jeans and shirt and curled up under the covers in my cousin's underwear, the fan blowing full blast. Morning sunlight streamed through my window as I stretched awake. I got up, and then stumbled when I saw what I was wearing. It all came rushing back. This wasn't a dream. I sighed and stood. I had to find Nathan and get him to change me back immediately. I pulled on Rachel's clothes again and hurried downstairs. "Nathan, where are—" I stopped. In the living room sat my parents, Rachel, and several relatives. Some cried, others looked frightened. Mom was on the phone, speaking urgently. "Who's this?" Dad asked, but Rachel quickly took my hand. "She's a friend of mine," Rachel said softly. "What's going on?" I demanded as Rachel sat me down on the couch. "Emma," she said, holding my hand to her lips. Tears welled in her eyes, but I was still confused. "Rachel, please," I whispered. "I want to go back to." "Nathan's dead," she said, locking eyes with me. My mouth fell open, heart sinking. "Car accident. Dad's in the ER, but Nathan wasn't wearing a seatbelt." "Oh no," I couldn't finish. All thoughts of returning to normal vanished. My cousin was gone, my annoying, bratty, lovable cousin, just like that. I placed a hand on my unfamiliar chest and sank back on the couch, trying to process it. Then, like anyone would, I broke down crying. Nothing prepared me for that moment. A boy of 14, barely in high school, just gone. A drunk driver was at fault. The driver passed too, which made it worse, no one to blame, no justice. I sat there for hours, sobbing harder than ever before. I'd lost people before, but these tears wouldn't stop, just like in the bathroom earlier. After the crying eased, people began planning what to do. Some would go to the hospital, others stayed at my house. More family would arrive soon. Rachel stood, took my hands, and led me upstairs to the guest room. She closed the door, wiped her face, and touched up her makeup. "What now?" I asked, dabbing my eyes. I'm going to the hospital to be with Dad, she said. I hesitated, realizing how selfish I sounded. About you? She finished. Tyler. Emma, I honestly don't know. That stone might be with the police or the hospital, or... No, not about turning back, I said quickly. I mean, what story do we tell? For now, I'm just your friend. You're coming with me, she said. Change into something clean. We'll go to the hospital and figure out the rest after the funeral. What if the real me never shows up? Tyler, I can't handle that right now, she said and left. I rifled through her clothes, picked another pair of jeans and white underwear. I struggled with the bra for 5 minutes, then gave up and tossed it aside. Lots of girls go without bras, right? The hours at the hospital dragged endlessly. My uncle wasn't as critical as feared, and all signs pointed to a full recovery. But Nathan was dead. My mind raced. Every moment I wasn't grieving, I worried about telling my parents, and what I'd do if they didn't believe me. That night was the moment of truth. I sat in the kitchen as my parents came in. It was just after midnight, and my cousin was in another room, leaving me alone. I'm sorry you got caught up in all this, my mom said. No, not at all, I replied. I knew Nathan too. I'm just glad I saw him before it happened. I'm glad you were here, she said, sitting down. Not that. I know, I said with a small smile, trying to comfort her. Inside, I was scared and sad. I didn't know how she'd react if she really understood. If there's anything I can do to help, just tell me, I offered. Thank you, Emma, I answered. Thank you, Emma, she said, then paused. George, she called to my dad. Yeah, he answered. Did Tyler come home last night? Not that I remember. Oh my God, Mom said. If he's not back, that means... He's fine. I blurted, standing up. What do you mean he's fine? She asked. My dad entered the room, both giving me confused looks. I stumbled, just like last night. Then I heard heels clicking as Rachel came in. What's going on? She asked. Tyler didn't come home last night, Mom said. And now this girl is claiming to be psychic. She says he's fine. I'm sure there's a logical explanation, Rachel said, though I saw the worry in her eyes. Right, Emma? Yes, of course, I said. But there wasn't one. What else could I say? Taking a deep breath, I closed my eyes and said the only thing that made sense, the truth. I am Tyler. What? Mom exclaimed. Rachel sat down, burying her face in her hands. It's true. Yesterday Nathan found this stone that can transform whoever holds it, and... Where is this stone? Dad sighed. It was with Nathan during the accident. Of course it was, he muttered. I don't believe this. Mom shouted. Get out of my house. Aunt Rachel, please, Rachel began. No, Mom cut her off. George, call the police. We'll find our son without this crazy girl. I'm not crazy, I said. Then why all this? Do you know what our family's been through since last night? I swear, it's true. Leave, she said coldly. Take your troubles with you. This is my home, I insisted. Aunt Rachel, please listen, Rachel stepped between me and my parents. I know it sounds unbelievable, but this is the truth. And you expect us to believe that on faith? Dad asked. Ask me anything, Rachel challenged. Go ahead. Mom looked at me. I was trembling, my feet icy cold. She sighed, wiped a tear, and sat at the table. For what felt like hours, they questioned me, from birth until now. Slowly, emotions cooled. Rachel stayed by my side, helping prove who I was. So, Dad said, exhaling, if we believe you, what then? Your identity is completely changed, and that has legal consequences. I know, I said. With everything else going on, I'm not asking for help with that now. We'll deal with it later. What do we tell everyone else? Mom asked. Nothing, Rachel said, looking up. Or something vague. It took over an hour to convince you too. Explaining it to the rest would just make things worse. We'll make an excuse. Like what? That he's dead too? Mom asked. Maybe Tyler ran away or something. He'd never do that. We can't let this go public, Rachel said firmly. Okay, we'll figure something out, Mom agreed. So, you do believe me? I asked. Yes, Mom said. As crazy as it sounds, we believe you. She stood and hugged me tightly. Dad followed, awkward but sincere. The next days blurred together. Hundreds of family and friends came by. Because my uncle was recovering, the funeral was set for New Braunfels, so our house was the gathering spot. I told so many people I was Nathan's close friend, but pretending was exhausting. I still had no clue how to act like a girl. I stumbled as I walked, adjusted awkwardly to my new balance. How I sat, spoke, and carried myself was all wrong. Rachel kept reminding me. The funeral day came fast. I wore a dress for the first time. The feeling was hard to get used to, so exposed, though the skirt fell well below my knees. Walking into the church in high heels, I lost my balance and bumped into a young woman. We both fell. I'm so sorry, I said, struggling to get up, suddenly inches from my girlfriend's face. Days ago, I would have wished for exactly that. Emma, right? She asked as we both stood up. Why yes, I stammered. Are you okay? I'm fine, she smiled, a smile that should have melted me. You knew Nathan? I did, I said. Our families have been close friends for years. Oh, she said. Are you sure you haven't visited before? There's something familiar about you. No, I replied. The last time I was in Texas, I was 10. Oh, she said. I slipped away and hid behind a wall as she joined the others. My back pressed to the cool surface, I sank to the floor. What was I going to do? I was in love with her, and we were about to spend a lot more time together. You can't tell her, you know, Rachel said, rounding the corner. Can't I have at least one person I can tell? I used to tell her everything. Emma, no, Rachel said, offering her hand. I took it, and she wrapped her arm around me. You'll get through this, okay? Okay, I said, trusting her. The funeral dragged on forever. As soon as I could, I slipped out of the church. Home at last, I sighed in relief, alone for the first time since everything changed. I fumbled with my mother's old purse for the key, finally unlocking the door. Stepping inside, I surveyed the mess. I'd deal with it later. Turning toward the kitchen. You really should keep your house under better security, a voice said, making me jump and stumble over my shoes. I scrambled up, facing a girl, probably a few years older than me. She had short red hair with a streak of green and stood just a bit shorter than I did. We don't have many burglars around here, I said. That's good, she said, sipping coffee from one of our cups. I glanced behind her, she'd helped herself to our machine. What do you want? You know, Texas isn't all bad, she said, ignoring me. Not many cowboys, lots more computers. Maybe I'll move here when I retire. What do you want? I asked again, louder. Nothing, really, she said. I came to check if you needed anything. We found the stone. It's bagged and on its way to the warehouse. But you're our little problem. You know? Of course, she said. When you look at the story, it's obvious. So why are you here? To make sure you adjust to your new life, she said, extending her hand. Name's Marissa. I might not be an official agent, but when something small happens in Texas, I'm the one who gets sent. Who's this? My father asked, entering the house. Marissa sat down and began explaining the process of changing my identity. Unfortunately, I couldn't use the stone again. They didn't know how powerful the artifact was. Don't worry about settling in, Marissa said as she left. We deal with cases like yours all the time. You'll be fine. Maybe someday we'll find a safe way to reverse this, and you can visit the warehouse. That sounds fun, I said. Trust me, that warehouse is nothing like what you have here, partner, she said, mimicking a southern drawl. See you around, Emma. She winked and climbed into her car. See ya, I half-waved as she drove off. We'll manage, Dad said, placing a hand on my shoulder. At least the government won't ask questions. It'll be like renewing your license. Right, I said. I guess there's no going back now. There's never going back, he said. Only moving forward. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content.